In this question, we see Hamza has 60 meters of fence and he wants to build a rectangular garden shown. We want to know the maximum possible area that can be enclosed. Now, what Hamza wants to do is build along a wall so that there's no fence needed up here, and he wants to build 3 widths and 2 lengths so that he can plant 4 different types of crop. Okay? Well, he wants to enclose the maximum amount possible, so let's see what he can do. Remember, we have 2 lengths and 3 widths. Well, we know that generally speaking, the area of the rectangle as a whole will be length times width. Length times width will give us the overall area. And we also know that 2L plus 3W is 60, because this length and this length added to this W, and this W equals 60. Well, what we want to do now is isolate the W. Isolate the L. So, we know 2L plus 3W equals 60. We begin by isolating 2L. 2L will be 60 minus 3W. We can then divide both sides by 2. That leaves us with L on the left and 60 minus 3W over 2 on the right. Well, 60 over 2 is 30, and negative 3W over 2 is negative 3 halves W. So we get L is equal to 30 minus 3 halves W. So now, instead of saying that area is length times width, we can say it's 30 minus 3 halves W times width. Okay? Well, we're looking for the maximum. So it's good to know what the zeros are. So what we're going to do is say 30 minus 3 halves W is 0, and figure out what the solution to that is. Well, if 30 minus 3 halves W equals 0, then 30 is equal to 3 halves W. Dividing both sides by 3 halves is the same as multiplying both sides by 2/3. So 30 times 2/3 is equal to W, which means W is 20. Or on this side, W is 0. So we know, since these are the zeros of our quadratic relation, we know that the axis of symmetry will be halfway in between. Okay? So what we do next is add the 2 zeros and divide by 2. So W ends up equaling 10. Now, when W is equal to 10, we have to figure out what the overall area is. Well, remember, this is the formula for area, 30 minus 3 halves W times W. So subbing in 10, we get 30 minus 3 halves times 10, quantity times 10. Well, that's like 30 minus 30 halves times 10, which is 30 minus 15 times 10, and that's 15 times 10, or 150. So we see that given the restrictions on the amount of fencing he has, the greatest area possible that Hamza can enclose is 150 meters squared altogether.